Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, we are going to go through one course-changing trade every NBA team could actually make. But before we get going on today's video, guys, we are doing some big boy bitch-ass moves today, guys. 5,000 likes on this video, guys. Get it done for me, man. Hit that like button. And also 10,973 brand new subscribers. If you're one of the people that watch my videos that are not subscribed, now is the time to do so. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get going on today's video. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions. Let me know yours in the comment section below, especially if your favorite team does pop up, which it will because it's every single NBA team. So here we go. We got the Thunder trade Chris Paul to the San Antonio Spurs. So it's CP3 for Rudy, Gay, Petty Mills, Trey Lyles, and a 2020 second-round pick. So I guess from the Spurs perspective, you know, if they want to hang on to that window for like one or two more seasons of LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan, then yeah, Chris Paul obviously fits in with that. Do I like the idea of it? I mean, they're not really giving up too much here. You know, they're not really giving up too much because Trey Lyles hasn't really shown all that much yet. And the 2020 second round pick, I mean, that's whatever, right? I think again, if it's the San Antonio Spurs, chances are that's going to be like the next like Manu Ginobili or somebody like that, right, man? So, I would actually be all for watching that team. It would be interesting. I would not expect them to win a championship or anything, but it'd be kind of fun. And then as the side of the OKC Thunder, well, I guess getting out of Chris Paul's contracts, I guess they don't really need to do that right now. Trey Lyles, like I said, could maybe potentially be something, and they get another draft pick out of it. So, you know, for them, it's kind of like like embracing the full-on rebuild. Either way, you know, it's interesting. It's whatever. All right, next up, we got the Warriors trade top pick for Collins and Huerter. So the Warriors receive John Collins, Kevin Huerter, and the Hawks get the 2020 first-round pick. Okay, so from the Warriors' perspective of this, John Collins fits in with the team. He's a 20-10 type of guy. Extremely young, so it's like that draft pick, because there's so much unknowing with the draft pick, right? Like, you don't know. It's like usually a top 5 player, like one or two of those players are going to be bust. With John Collins, you know what you are getting. Now, with that being said, I don't really like John Collins at the center position. Then again, you know, playing with Draymond Green at the 4 spot, it could actually work defensively. Just because, you know, John Collins never really played with good defensive players, obviously, on the Atlanta Hawks. And then Kevin Huerter instantly fits that in as a great 6-man off the bench. You know, as far as like his play style, he actually plays similar to Klay Thompson, so that would be kind of fun to watch. I actually do like this trade. I like this trade for both sides. And the Hawks, you know, it's like they get that 2020 pick to do some things with out there. Now I know John Collins is good and everything, but who knows, man? Like, it could be very, very interesting. All right, next up, we got the Knicks get Devin Booker, and the Suns receive package with the number 2 overall pick. So, you know, for the New York Knicks, they get themselves a great, exciting young player in Devin Booker that we know has superstar potential. I would say right now he's more like an all-star. I would not quite give him that superstar title quite yet, which could be nice for them as far as, you know, convincing players to sign with them via free agency. I mean, playing with Devin Booker, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, that's definitely not a bad trio to join up with. And for the Suns, like, obviously, Devin Booker's been great for them, but hasn't really led to anything. So for them, it gives them like a chance at something new, I suppose. I don't really see anybody in the 2020 first-round pick being better than Devin Booker. So I don't know. Then like Julius Randle, I mean, they do need a power forward, so I guess that would be interesting. They got Mikal Bridges off the bench that could be the new starting shooting guard. So I mean, you know, if they're looking for a new route, sure, why not? Next up, we got the Magic Kings swap Aaron Gordon and Buddy Hield. So from the Magic's perspective, I mean, yes, I'm kind of all for Aaron Gordon being traded away. I like Jonathan Isaac much more at the 4 spot. Buddy Hield could be the starting 2. You know, similarly bring back Evan Fournier, who is actually a very underrated guard in the NBA. He's like 6'7", he very well could play the 3 spot, so it definitely helps him with floor spacing. And then for the Kings, you know, they already got Marvin Bagley. I don't know if I like the idea of Marvin Bagley, Aaron Gordon, and Harrison Barnes on the court all at the same time. But, you know, they seem to be over Buddy Hield. They put him on the bench. They got Bogdan starting. So it's one of those, yo, let's see how the extremely athletic guy that can sometimes shoot 3-pointers can do on our team. Next, we have the Pistons, Sixers, Pacers agree to a trade of big men and the number 7 overall pick. Okay, so the Pistons get Miles Turner and Jeremy Lamb. I really like that. Yo, Miles Turner with Christian Wood, that would be freaking fun to watch. And then Jeremy Lamb, you know, just a great solid scorer. Sixers receive Blake Griffin, and it looks like they are giving up Al Horford. The Pistons also have to give up their draft pick. So it all comes down to, like for the Pistons, is that draft pick, could it be more valuable than Miles Turner? So it's assuming the number 7 overall pick. I think I would rather take my chances with Miles Turner at that point, if I'm being quite honest, man. I'm so sick of waiting on like projects to pan out in Detroit. They don't really have great draft history, so it's like, yeah, go with the sure thing out there. They got a Blake Griffin's contract. Not saying Miles Turner is much better, but I think it's definitely better than Blake Griffin's. And the Pacers get Al Horford. I don't really know how he works out with Sabonis, but they also get a draft pick out of it. So I would say it's pretty much a win situation for every team out there. Assuming Blake Griffin can, like, come back from injury, because then all of a sudden that's an all-star caliber player on the 76ers. Now, a team with Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Blake Griffin, all with big-time injury history, that's scary stuff, man. As a Pistons fan, I was dealing with it all season with Blake, Derrick Rose, a lot of injuries on the Pistons. So, 76ers, one bad injury could definitely derail the entire thing. Next up, we have the Bucks go for title with Holiday, while Pelicans get Bledsoe and DiVincenzo. Okay, so the Bucks get Drew Holiday out of it. Yeah, he would be like a fine fit. I would not give up Eric Bledsoe and Dante and Ersan Ilyasova. That's a complete ripoff if you're the Milwaukee Bucks guys. Like, Drew Holiday's fine, but in my opinion, I don't think he's much better than Eric Bledsoe. I do think Eric Bledsoe's a very underrated player, but really the part that pisses me off is Dante. I think Dante has some really good starter potential here in the NBA. Like, not quite like an all-star, but one of those just like, yo, that's a really good third or fourth option on a team that you definitely want to have. Yeah, 1,000,000,000% not doing this if I'm the Bucks. Of course, if you're the Pelicans, you do this trade every single time, but yeah, I don't really see something like this going down. Next up, we got the Lakers. Nets swap Kuzma and Allen. So, yeah, for the Los Angeles Lakers, I mean, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, they're cool. They're not going to be cool for much longer, though, especially Dwight Howard is getting up there in age. Injuries are always a thing with him. I think Jared Allen instantly fits in with that Los Angeles Lakers team. It gives them a nice young center to work with. I do think that Jarrett needs to work on his offensive game a little bit. I mean, obviously, playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that's not going to be a big-time issue. But once LeBron retires, you're going to be looking to guys like Allen to do some scoring and stuff. But as far as defense goes, Jared Allen, Anthony Davis, that would be really cool to watch. Really probably the best defensive front court in the entire NBA, because you include LeBron James in that, right? And then for the Nets, there we got DeAndre Jordan at the center position. A guy that's not really going to be like great for much. I mean, he's not really great anymore, but he's not bad. But they get Kyle Kuzma out of it, who, of course, we know historically could be around 20 point per game score. Like, he could be that. So maybe him playing in the offense with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving gives him a new stroke of motivation. And then beyond that, just with Karras and Kuzma together, like, that's not a bad little trio to kind of build around too. They do need a power forward. I like this trade a lot for both sides. Next up, we got the Heat trade Adebayo and Hero to the Wizards for Beal. Ooh, I already hate it. I already hate this trade here, guys. Okay, yeah, this is a really bad trade for the Miami Heat. Bradley Beal is really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love Bradley Beal. Extremely underrated. Should have been an all-star. The guy could be a 30-point per game scorer pretty much for the next 5, 6, 7 years, man. But to give up Bam Adebayo, who is probably going to be most improved player, at least in the running for it, Tyler Hero, who I think has 20-point per game potential out there, Iguodala, I don't really care about him anymore. He's old and everything like that. It's just way too much to give up. You just don't give up two young building blocks like that for one all-star that hasn't really done all that much with teams, with the Washington Wizards. Now, would that team still be good with Bradley Beal and Jimmy Butler? Sure. But I think Bam is too invaluable to the squad. And Tyler Hero, I see a lot of potential with him. So, yeah, definitely not doing this trade if I'm the Miami Heat. Next up, we got Love, Sexton to Nuggets, Barton to Blazers. Okay, let's just look at the trade. So the Nuggets received Kevin Love, Colin Sexton, and Nassir Little. Okay, yeah, I could see Kevin Love being like a replacement for Paul Millsap. Obviously better offensively, not as good defensively, but him with Jokic, that could be interesting. Colin Sexton is actually a pretty underrated defender. I didn't realize how good he was on defense. Sorry, I started watching him a little bit more. So him with Jamal Murray in the backcourt, that could be fun to watch. Nassir Little gives them a potentially solid 3-and-D player, at least a good defensive player. The Blazers receive Will Barton, who can be like a 16-point per game scorer, gives the Blazers a little bit more depth at the wing position, which they desperately need, especially because we don't know how Ronnie Hood's going to be once he's back from his injury next season. And then the Cavaliers get Michael Porter Jr., Gary Harris, and Trevor Ariza. So if I'm the Nuggets, do I give up on Michael Porter Jr. for Kevin Love? I don't think I'm doing that. Like, now looking at the full trade, I don't think I'm doing that. But getting Colin Sexton back too, it's not a bad trade. I just don't know if I would do it. Like, I'm really high on Michael Porter Jr. You know what I'm saying, man? I really see, like, maybe superstar potential if he can stay healthy. But yeah, for the Cavaliers, I really do like Colin Sexton on that team. Like, if it was Darius Garland instead of Colin Sexton, I'd do it 100% of the time. I don't know, man. Cavalier fans, let me know how you feel about this. Are you more high on a Michael Porter Jr., or do you like what you got with Colin Sexton? Because I see great potential with both. I think Gary Harris is not bad either. Him and Darius Garland could be interesting. Next up, we got the Jazz trade Rudy Gobert to the Mavericks. So, yeah, Rudy Gobert on the Dallas Mavericks for Maxi Kleber, Seth Curry, Boban, Justin Jackson, a 2020 first-round pick. So, from the Mavericks' point of view, yeah, I do this every single time. Just because Rudy Gobert, defensive anchor, him with Kristaps Porzingis, like, nobody is scoring on that front court. You got Luka Doncic out there, of course, too. That would be... That's a freaking game changer. Like, obviously, you're giving up a great three-point shooter with Seth Curry, but Tim Hardaway's been amazing for the Mavericks as of late. Well, when the season was going on and stuff, man. Now, from the Jazz standpoint, they're not really getting all that much back. I mean, Maxi Kleber's fine. Seth Curry's cool. Boban, you know, I mean, he did drop like 36 and 14 in his last game of the NBA season. Justin Jackson, he's like a nice role player, I guess, and then the draft picks are always nice, but it's not going to be a great draft pick. I could see the Jazz getting a better offer out there. You know, despite what rumors are going on between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, you know, 7-footers that protect the paint. I mean, those guys, especially like Rudy Gobert, you don't just trade them for nothing. Not saying these guys are not nothings out there. I just could see them getting a bit better. Next up for the Timberwolves, get Lauri Markkanen, and the Bulls receive the number 5 overall pick. So, yeah, Lauri was originally drafted by Minnesota on the Chicago Bulls. You know, when he played there at first, it was looking pretty promising. I think this previous season, a lot of people were kind of upset with how much he did not progress as a player. A lot of that can be written up to injuries. I also think Jim Boylan was a horrible coach for Lauri in general. They were trying to make him like a Kelly Olynyk type of player that just sits on the line, like sits on 3-point line and shoots threes. It's just, Lauri can do so much more than that. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as putting him on the Timberwolves, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of him with Karl-Anthony Towns. That could be a lot of fun to watch. Of course, you got D'Lo, Malik Beasley. The floor spacing would be crazy. And the Bulls getting a 2020 first-round pick. I mean, if they believe they can draft somebody that could be better than Lauri, then sure, why not, man? I don't mind that trade for either side. And it's the number 5 overall pick. So you got to think somebody like Obi Toppin would be available. You know, really a lot of solid players would still be available at that 5th spot. Okay, next we got Terry Rozier becomes Rockets 6-man. Eric Gordon joins the Hornets. So, pretty basic trade right here. I mean, I guess, yeah, you're teaming up Eric Gordon with Devontae Graham. Okay, I mean, I don't really see that doing all that much. And then Terry Rozier, I actually liked what Terry was doing for the Hornets last season. And I don't think he wants to go back to the 6-man role, because if that's the case, he would have just stayed on the Boston Celtics. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously Terry Rozier doesn't really have a say in it because he doesn't have a no-trade clause, so you just kind of, like, play your role. I guess, I mean, it's not really that much of a needle mover if you ask me. It's a fine trade. Okay, next up we got the Celtics get Clark. Grizzlies acquire first-rounder and Langford. So, Brandon Clark on the Celtics would be absolutely amazing. If I am the Grizzlies, I am not letting this guy go. You know, what I'm doing is I'm probably trading away Jonas Valanciunas, who does put up good numbers for the Grizzlies, moving Jaren Jackson to the center spot, putting Brandon Clark at the 4, or just embracing having a really good big guy off the bench. That's fine, too. But as far as getting Romeo Langford and a 2020 first-round pick, I just don't think it's worth the risk for the Grizzlies. Like, they already have a really solid player that, it's crazy, because there's, like, literally 2 rookies on the Grizzlies that could be Rookie of the Year. I mean, obviously, neither one is going to win. It's going to be Zion. Well, no. I think Ja probably deserves it. Ja does, yeah, man. I'm sorry, I misspoke on that one. I meant to say mainly, like, Brandon Clark's obviously not going to win it, but yeah, I do think Ja does deserve it over Zion Williamson. But regardless, Romeo Langford has not really showed a lot in that draft pick. You just never know with those guys. So if I am in the Grizzlies, I'm keeping Brandon Clark every single time. All right, and for the final trade we have, by the way, there's only, well, I guess there was some 3-team trades. Kyle Lowry rejoins Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers. Raptors get Lou Williams and Patrick Beverley. I've actually been preaching Kyle Lowry to the Clippers since the beginning of the NBA season, guys. It just makes complete sense. He's got chemistry with Kawhi Leonard. He's not the type of player that needs 30 shots a game. He plays great defense. He's a great playmaker. I think I already said he was a champion, right? Obviously with Kawhi Leonard right there. It just makes complete sense. Now, as far as the Raptors go, they do have Fred VanVleet, who I think is, you know, ready to take over as the starting point guard for that team anyway. So they get a good bench player with Lou Williams. Now they got Terrence Davis out there. They got Norman Powell, so they're a little heavy at the guard spot as is. But, you know, Lou Williams obviously make room for him. Patrick Beverly, good backup point guard. I mean, obviously he starts right now, but he would be a backup in this case. Zubac gives him a nice young 7-footer to work with, and Ronnie Magruder, don't know much about him. Yeah, I definitely like this trade more for the Clippers, and then just for the Raptors going in kind of a new direction and getting some depth out of it too, man. So, yeah, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about these trades? Obviously, some were better than others. A few of them made sense. A few of them made no sense at all. But love doing these videos here, guys. So give me your thoughts and opinions. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.